Hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson.
Control.
Everything you need to know about new and used cars.
Control.
Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air.
Control.
Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin.
Control.
Because you're on cruise control. Cruise control. Cruise control.
And welcome to Cruise Control. That's Les Jackson. Hello.
You caught me by surprise. It was my turn, and I'm completely got befuddled.
That's all right. But
anyway,
you can continue.
Thank you. Well, this is your on-air automotive magazine, and you know us. I'm Les. He's Fred. We're at different mics here, but other than that, we've got lots of stuff to talk about this hour. And getting more and more electric stuff, but also, you know, there's just a lot of really great middle-of-the-road vehicles that you need to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of them is not necessarily a middle-of-the-road vehicle. Happens to be the electric Ram pickup truck, the 1500 REV pickup, REV. This is another first here, Les, because it is our first 2025 model. Can you believe that? 2025. When did we start cruise control? Back in 2005?
2004.
2004.
Yes.
And now we're on a 2025 model year. So
I never would have believed the time would go that fast.
Yeah.
And Toyota takes covers off its Corolla Cross Hybrid, and it's good for 42 miles per gallon. And later on in the show, we might have a chance to sort of compare that with the regular Corolla Cross.
Yeah, regular Corolla Cross, of course, and of course the hybrid model is at 42 miles to the gallon for all-wheel drive, which is pretty
remarkable.
Amazing stuff. And then we're going to talk about the production version of Kia's EV9. This is a 3-row electric vehicle, SUV family, and you know, Kia's just stepping out, aren't they, when it comes to electric?
Well, they are. I mean, they're getting into the big boy stuff like the Suburbans and the the Wagoneers and all these things.
This is the electric Telluride, the way I see it.
It's the electric, yeah, and really, this is something I think will be another runaway hit for Kia, like the Telluride. So we'll see what happens. And over at Genesis, they say they're staying in the sedan business.
Yeah, I know that would make you happy. Makes me happy, too.
No matter what the competitors think. And, man, thank you.
Yeah, that's a big deal because somebody said, one of our automotive journalists, friends or colleagues said, look, the conversion to SUVs is complete. And he had a shot in a parking lot of like 50 cars, and they were all CUVs or SUVs. So that shot made me think of this piece. So, hey, I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. You're on Cruise Control. That's the show you're dialed into. We will be right back. We'll get started with the Ram REV 1500. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. You're dialed into Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Les, we are going to now talk about our first 2025 model, and it is none other than the Ram REV 1500. It got sort of a reveal at the New York Auto Show, the production version of it. And it is, well, let me say this. The capability and the looks of the vehicle, I think, will be very appealing to current Ram buyers.
I would say so.
They've updated it and made it different enough, but it still looks like a Ram truck. It's got the storage in the bed. It's got a very similar interior. Even the steering wheel is the same. Yet it is an electric vehicle. I think, it's like portioning out the change. You don't want to completely change something where someone doesn't recognize it whatsoever. You're not clean sheeting it, even though this is a clean sheet, but you are making a truck that looks like a truck, the things people like about it, keeps the things they like, and then adds electric power. So let's talk about this thing. Two choices on the battery. 168 kilowatt hour battery targeted at 350 miles of range, or the optional 229 kilowatt hour large battery pack with a targeted range of 500 miles.
That is more than the competitors.
That is more than is that more than the Lightning?
Yes, the Lightning was 193 kilowatts.
Now, the Lightning, of course, it takes a kind of a page similar. They've taken a similar approach, Ram and Ford. Lightning looks for all intents and purposes like an F-150 with some updates.
It's a F-150.
Yeah, and this looks like a Ram pickup that you would be used to. Silverado has not done that. The Chevy Silverado has not done that with the mid-gate and that. They've made it more of a different vehicle, haven't they?
Well, that's right. And again, I'm not knocking Silverado. It's a terrific truck, but they just always seem to be about one level behind.
Interesting.
Just in trim. And speaking of trim, I just got out of the Grand Wagoneer, and the dash shot, interior shot you showed of the Ram, there's a lot of Wagoneer in there.
Cross-pollination.
It's very luxurious.
Yeah, very luxurious. Well, it's not only luxurious, but it can tow up to 14,000 pounds.
That's a lot.
Now, towing with an electric vehicle is interesting because I think it really cuts your range. We'll have to see how that works. And a payload of up to 2,700 pounds. You can add up to 110 miles of range in approximately 10 minutes with an 800-volt DC fast charger, if you can find one.
If you can find one with an intact cord.
And this is built on the STLA frame body-on architecture, designed for full-size electric vehicles. And it has a powered front trunk that offers best-in-class 15 cubic foot storage. And now they have a new trim level called the Tungsten. So
That's cool.
You can still get all of your other trim levels that you're used to, once again, keeping this very similar in many ways to existing Ram products, but they've added the Tungsten level trim to it. So if you have a favorite trim on the Ram pickup, then you can still get the Tradesman, which I love that name. That's been around for a long time. Bighorn,
basic.
Lone Star, Laramie Limited, and the Tungsten, which is the top of the range.
I'm not by nature a real lazy guy, but that powered frunk really appeals to me.
Yeah, it does.
Because, it's high. When you lift the hoods of these things, they're up here.
I know. I have a very high-rise tripod when I want to get an engine shot that goes up like 6 feet, and it's hard to get a shot of the engine because it's like it's above your head. The top of the grill is above your head, so I can't see what I'm shooting. But no, I agree with you. So let's look at some of these other things on the REV1500. 0 to 60 targeted performance of 4.4 seconds.
That's AC Cobra.
654 horsepower, 620 pound-feet of torque. They say it's a no-compromise vehicle. I think if it can meet those numbers, it just might be a no-compromise.
It's no compromise vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much its competitors can ford in water.
Well,
Probably close to it, but 2 feet.
we'll talk about this when we come back on Cruise
Yeah.
Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We are going to finish up on the Ram because we've got a lot of stuff to talk
Oh,
about.
man,
We
a
were
lot of stuff.
talking about the Ram's capability. It really looks like they're going to take off with an awful lot of orders. I don't know when they can take orders. This is a 2025 truck.
Yeah, we don't know pricing. We don't know anything like that about orders, but it's a beautiful truck, that tungsten edition.
Yeah, and one other technical thing, a .340 coefficient of drag.
On a huge truck.
This is a truck.
Yeah. It's like pretty much the equivalent of putting a piece of plywood into the wind and saying like, wow, this is aerodynamic. Yeah. So they've done a lot of work. Do you think there'll be a 2500 and a 3500 version of this, or will they eventually be hydrogen powered?
I don't know because, at some point it starts becoming too expensive to electrify something that heavy duty.
Yeah.
Without some other kind of technology.
Heavy duty hybrids, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah, a heavy duty hybrid would make sense.
Let's talk hybrids again. Let's talk about the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. This was just introed at the New York Auto Show. Of course, you and I have been in the non-hybrid version of this, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But the hybrid version, it's pretty incredible. 42 miles to the gallon combined in all grades, 196 horsepower, and that is with standard all-wheel drive.
And a starting price that's actually pretty good.
Yep.
$31,900.
That is, and built in Huntsville, Alabama, too. So they have the S, which has fabric trimmed seats in black and gray. The SE, fabric trimmed seats in black and gray or black and blue. And the XSE with soft text trimmed seats in black or black blue. Somebody said something interesting in the comments about this, that this would make a great car for people driving for Uber because it's all-wheel drive, it's got some decent storage, and it gets 42 miles to the gallon. And I think that's a good point.
Actually, I think that's a great point because if you're driving for Uber and you need a newish vehicle, you want something that's reliable. You know it's going to be reliable.
Yeah.
And practical. So, wow. And I'll say it. I know you agree. It's as close to a station wagon as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
Without actually buying a station wagon.
Comes with great, the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. It's a Toyota. It's going to be great. I don't think we have pricing on it yet, though.
Well, we do.
Do we?
The Wilderness, the 2024 Wilderness.
Oh, you're talking about that's
or is that
Subaru?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
So
we've got. I keep doing that, by the way.
Conflating
I'll
Subaru
keep calling
and
the Toyota the Corolla Crosstrek and the Subaru the Cross.
You should listen to Cruise Control. It will help you out.
I really should. I could probably learn something. But no, we don't have price on this yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's going to be good.
I like the two-tone treatment too, the optional two-tone.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a fan
really
of
like that.
I'm a fan of that. People have been doing that with certain cars like Mustangs and Corvettes. They actually wrap the roof, and I at first thought, oh, that sounds dumb, but I saw a guy do it online, and it really makes a car look completely different. It looks kind of cool for
It does.
Not a
It
lot
just
of money.
it just kind of adds a little bit of
Difference.
personality.
Yeah, personality. Yeah. So there you have it, Toyota Corolla Cross. Now something different yet. We should talk about Kia's large 3-row electric SUV. I would say this is an SUV, not a CUV.
Definitely an SUV.
Very luxurious. Wow, they even have, for the driver, you can recline and have a footrest there, which is pretty neat.
That's, that's great.
So it's called the EV9. Incredible looking vehicle. Is this the electric Telluride, and will this be as big a hit as the 2024 model as the Telluride?
I can't imagine it won't be. They know that, first of all, they have the formula.
Mm-hmm.
They have the technology, and it looks bigger than the Telluride, but of course, I have to compare actual dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
It sure looks plush inside.
Now, they show it with these flip-around seats, which is nice, but that will not happen in the U.S. because of safety standards. They have to be, the second row has to be mounted in a more traditional way. But it's a big vehicle. You take a look at it with the seats down and that, it is every bit a full-size vehicle. This is all electric. Do we know range? Well, it has a standard 800-volt electrical architecture. I believe the range, there's going to be a front-wheel drive version and an all-wheel drive version. And I believe the front-wheel drive version has 300 miles of range.
And a 0 to 60 of 5 seconds.
For that big a vehicle.
It's just, who'd have thought that we'd be at this level?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. It's expected to show up around the fourth quarter of 2023 and be assembled in the West Point, Georgia plant. It will be the first time an electric vehicle for Kia is assembled in the U.S., and you know why that is, because there are tax advantages and you can get the discount if it is available, if it is built.
Right.
But look at the style they've done with the front of the vehicle, the running lights, and that. Pretty amazing stuff. I think they've done very well with this. When they first brought it out, I thought, wow, that looks like, just kind of like a concept. But really, the concept and the actual build vehicle are pretty close.
They are pretty close, and they go for sort of, I guess I would call it a striking design.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in your face. It's not conventional. It's a little bit futuristic.
Yeah.
Kia, I tell you, that's a company that never underestimate them.
No, never underestimate them. They do a great job. They don't have vehicles that get lost in the shuffle,
right.
And this is one of them. A little bit less money, but if still does not get lost in the shuffle. And this is the new Hyundai Kona electric. And that was also revealed at the New York Auto Show. Pretty cool stuff, don't you think? That's a great-looking vehicle in itself.
It is a great-looking vehicle. Now, the one you're showing...
you don't like the color. Oh, that's a little bit better.
Now that's great. That's a...
Cladding made a comeback.
Blue.
Cladding is making a comeback, isn't it?
Well, I'm not a fan of cladding. I'm going back to the old Pontiac days. But if it's attractive, that's fine.
Yeah. They've done
the yellow, bright iridescent yellow color. Not my
so
pick.
much. Yeah. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the Crosstrek. You've noticed the trend in cladding. There it is again, kind of uniquely styled wheel arches and a big chunk of cladding in the middle of the vehicle. I always say stuff goes away and comes back. It's like fashion.
Oh, it always does. And this is, if it's, as long as it's not called the Trans Am, we're fine.
We'll get that again eventually too. Exactly.
Yeah.
It will be an
Oh,
electric
sure.
SUV. So, hey, you're listening to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine with Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Coming up, we're gonna check out the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness Edition. We're gonna talk about some tech and a whole lot more. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We are glad you're along for the ride. Tell you what, busy week in the automotive industry. The much-awaited Subaru 2024 Crosstrek Wilderness Edition arrived with a lot of cladding on it. A lot of people talking about the cladding, the big piece of cladding in the middle there on the doors. But it has some really nice upgrades. There has been a whole cottage industry of people taking the Crosstrek and upgrading it, putting Geolander tires on it, lifting it, doing things like that. And, of course, as is the trend with many manufacturers, they like to toughen up their vehicles. Subaru has done their Wilderness lineup for a number of years, and virtually every one of their vehicles now, except the BRZ, has a Wilderness edition. There's a Forester Wilderness edition as well. And this one has the upgraded suspension and all-terrain tires, 9.3 inches of ground clearance, which is
That's
pretty stout.
pretty good. Yeah.
Standard eyesight driver assist technology, standard 2.5-liter engine, and 3,500 pounds of towing, which is pretty good.
That's actually plenty for the sort of things that you would use a vehicle like that for towing, you know, like a motorcycle trailer, boat trailer.
Yeah, and starting price $31,995. You know, it. I have to really. I'll have to wait to see this in real life. What I think about it.
I don't see the point in the cladding. It seems to me it takes away from the overall look.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think they saw it as sort of like to protect the side of the vehicle. I'm not real keen on the big Subaru lettering in the back bumper either. I don't know. That seems like somebody would get that as the peel and stick customization guy. Would
Yeah.
you know, the guys that put the stuff across their windshield.
Right,
Like it
right.
says Corvette. It's like I know it's a Corvette. I don't.
Yeah.
My wife has a pet peeve with that, where you walk in the kitchen and it says kitchen. It's like, yeah. I was watching one of those home shows and they're like, wow,
That's right.
you could cook something in here. Yes, that's what you do in a kitchen. What an outstanding idea.
Yeah.
Well, $31,995 with destination and delivery $33,290. There's a couple of options you can get. Power moonroof, power driver seat, Harman Kardon amplifier and speakers. That would all add in $2,270 on top of that price. One thing you can't get, apparently, and I don't know why they do this, but there's I believe TorqueNews.com talks about this all the time, and it's weirdly kind of intrigued me. You can't get a heated steering wheel in the Crosstrek. You could in the hybrid, but you can't get it. And people are buying their vehicles in Canada because you can order a heated steering wheel in Canada. Isn't that weird in the Crosstrek?
Interesting.
And no one knows why they won't put a heated steering wheel in them in the U.S. Make it optional. So one guy replaced it, and it cost. He bought all the parts and put it in, and it cost him like $3,000.
It has to be wired for it.
Yeah, I just don't know
if
why
it's
they don't make
available
it.
in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, the Crosstrek, the previous version, only had a single air conditioning system, no dual zone. I mean, once again, things that other manufacturers put in without thinking about, they don't. I guess maybe it's cost. I don't know.
Maybe they just feel that the demographics won't support enough sales of it to bother putting it in and having to do all of the qualification, certification for it.
Don't know. Don't know.
Don't know.
Hey, let's do some talking tech, huh? Are you
Why
a big
not?
trailer guy? Do you trailer?
Well, no. I've rented over the years a lot of little trailers,
Even like
little,
U-Hauls.
8-foot trailers to haul stuff, and you can kind of lift them and hitch them to the back. But I have tried, with you observing, to back up a pickup truck to connect to something with not impressive results.
Yeah, because you can't see anything. It's like, yeah, you can kind of look outside and line it up and try to go straight, but you can't see it. I mean,
Right.
I
You need
remember
somebody back there saying, "Come on back,
a
come
little
on,
left,
you know,
a
turn."
little right. Yeah,
Right.
your left. No, the other left. Yeah.
That's right. What's wrong with you? Just back it up like I'm telling you.
Well, now there's the all-new Ford Trailer Hitch Assist available in the Ford F-Series. And this is like a one-button push. They have 60 patents on this thing. So one-button push. You back up, and get within, vision of your trailer. You push one button, the vehicle backs up using ultrasonic reverse system aid and other AI assistive technology, and you push a button on the dashboard, and it will put your hitch right under the receiver. That is incredible.
That's absolutely incredible, and I predict it's going to be a super popular option because it's going to make capable tow people out of hundreds of thousands of people who think that they're good at it.
And then they back into their
But
trailer
really
and
aren't.
smash the back of their truck. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. This is another neat thing, because as you know, on the F-150, it will weigh the trailer. It will tell you if you're within the GV.
Yep.
Yeah. I often say, why isn't this on a tractor trailer? I mean, imagine knowing what was in your trailer. Like, are you overweight? Instead of going to scales, you would just hitch up, and it would say, "Whoop, you're overweight," or you're good.
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah. And even the stitched together cameras for, when they're what they call blindsiding, backing up where you can't see. Imagine if you had the overhead view of that truck. That would be amazing.
Oh boy.
That would be amazing, Another neat feature on this Ford system is smart tail lamps. They operate like a battery charge indicator on a mobile phone, displaying the percentage of payload capacity by illuminating LEDs. All 4 lights illuminate, showing it's fully loaded. If the truck is overloaded, the top lights blink.
Well, then what do you do?
Then I think you open the doors of your trailer and accelerate very quickly.
Oh, if I had no.
Maybe,
of course.
Maybe remove an unwanted family member.
Okay, now we're talking.
Say, hey, why don't you call an Uber?
That's right. Hey, Uncle Bob, could you go drop while we're still here? Could you run into the 7-Eleven and get something?
Some beef jerky for us?
And some half smokes.
Yeah, and then they see those taillights that are no longer blinking going down the street. So good system from the folks at Ford. It is called Ford Pro Trailer Hitch Assist, and it is available on the F-Series. All
terrific
F-Series.
option.
Yeah. So neat stuff. Kind of sad news this week. Craig Breedlove. Remember Craig Breedlove?
The famous, Spirit of America.
Yeah, he passed away. So we wanted to mention that. 86 years old, the first guy to run speeds faster than 400, 500, and 600 miles per hour. He built a lot of his own stuff, and like right in his house. I believe he did that up until not that long ago when he wanted to do the Spirit of America 3 in 1997. I believe he was building these things like in his driveway.
Well, I remember when one of the first ones back in the 60s when it went out of control and he ended up with the front end of it actually burying itself in the Salt Lake.
Yes. It like
And I thought, well, this guy's dead, but he walked away from it.
Yeah, I think he slid for miles. Like the parachute didn't open or the brakes failed or something. But yeah, Craig Breedlove, interesting guy, and he held the record until Gary Gablick, I believe, broke it, and with 622 miles per hour at 1970.
That's faster than I really feel like going.
He was inspired by JFK. What can you do for America? Not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, and that's why he called it Spirit of America. So, pretty interesting stuff. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Corolla Cross. So stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
Hey, welcome back to Cruise Control. Fred and I are rather anxious to do what we don't do very often, but it's always fun and I think informative when we do. We're both going to review the standard Toyota Cross.
Corolla Cross.
I'm sorry, the Toyota Corolla Cross. Why am I having a complete mental block on the name of this vehicle today?
I don't know what.
I have to blame it on something.
Okay.
I'll think of it.
Okay. You blame it on the guy that's not here. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know who that is. But anyway.
My third grade teacher.
Okay, that sounds good.
That's good. So, what color is yours?
It was like a metallic blue. Like
okay,
a light metallic
that's
blue.
a nice, attractive color. Mine's a celestite gray.
Okay.
Metallic, which is a sort of a medium dark gray.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it's a Toyota, so the quality is right there.
To me, as you know, I talk about the vibe all the time. That was a Toyota Corolla underneath it, so this is the closest thing to a modern Pontiac vibe.
Yeah, I would say
Matrix.
it actually reminded me of the vibe when it came to me, because all of the opening of the back of
the hatch and things.
All of that, and it just seemed, boy, you don't see things this practical this often.
Very practical vehicle.
Yeah, so I was very much attracted to it for that. I was attracted to it for the size.
Yep.
I was attracted to it for really a rather quiet interior. This is not an expensive vehicle.
No.
You kind of expect them to be a little bit less isolated.
Yeah. I definitely think practicality is high on the list.
Absolutely.
It's pretty well equipped. It has, you can get it with heated seats. You can get it with the I'll call it vegan leather seats. And, it has that utility. It has the, we call it like a station wagon-like look. It's not overblown. It's based around the Corolla. Not a lot of horsepower. They're all all-wheel drive as well, which is great, really, because I think most people order all-wheel drive, at least where we are. Not like super fast, but not terrible either. I never felt like I was like, oh, I can't get into traffic because of it. I like the black bumpers on the front and back. If someone rubs in against you, it doesn't scrape the paint.
I call those forgiving bumpers.
A little bit of cladding, because every crossover, that's the cue. It has the tinted back windows and the wheel arches that are clad. Kind of simple in design, but that's okay. Has a big grille like many Toyotas do, but it's not bad. Interior, Corolla always, I think, has a nicely designed interior. Maybe some of the materials are not high end, but you're not spending a lot either, right?
Well, what I find with this one is very much the same thing, and I find the seats very high quality seat upholstery and very comfortable seats. Again, you don't expect that in a lower priced vehicle. We both agree that at this level of vehicle, you get even the hard surfaces, which can look really, really not cheap, but basic. Toyota goes out of its way to add some shape and shadow lines to them.
Yeah, even in the cargo area, and they've included a temporary spare, which is great, and getting rarer these days, so it's good to know.
That's right.
Save a little money, no engine cover, but that doesn't matter.
You know what? I kind of like looking at all of the gadgets.
Okay.
And it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder that they've made millions of them.
Yeah. So
quiet.
When you compare this to the just released hybrid, the just released hybrid has 196 on horsepower. What was the horsepower on this? Do you remember? It's 169. I think.
I believe 169.
Yeah,
and it's enough. It's
and it still gets pretty decent mileage without being a hybrid, doesn't it?
Yeah, I did get about 33.
Which is great. Remember, it's all-wheel drive too.
All-wheel drive. So you just can't laugh at that. That's quite good. Front and rear dual zone air conditioning. Heated front seats.
Full safety complement of safety equipment.
Right.
So it's really, this is a vehicle I believe that's going to sell big for them. Because it's got all the things people want in a crossover, plus Toyota reliability. It's not hard to drive. It looks good. It's not like, shocking and ground shattering, but it's like a clean, basic design, right?
Yeah. And it's welcoming. It's easy to get into. And now mine is equipped with 2 options that I personally wouldn't choose because I wouldn't use them. And that's the Audio Plus with the 8-inch touchscreen, JBL speakers, which is nice, but I'm not all that not such an audiophile that I need that, and a moonroof, which I never ever open.
I have one, and I've opened it like 3 times. So
it's just not something I would opt for.
I maybe go for the better touchscreen and the speakers, better audio system. But definitely, I'm not a moonroof fan. I like them without it.
Same here. I just have never really liked the noise from moonroofs. I don't particularly like the sun coming in.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I could do without that. I'd say
total price on yours.
Well, total. I don't have my total price.
Oh, well, mine base price without the options is $27,625. The Audio Plus $14,665. The moonroof $12,50. Everything else is pretty much Same price as total on mine with the $1,215 delivery fee is $32,594, which isn't a bad price.
I don't think we have pricing on the hybrid, but I would say that's probably going to be in the upper 30s. That's what I
would
say.
think. It remains to be seen, but I sort of assume that.
There's
We
a lot
don't have
more
the
equipment.
safety ratings yet on these.
No, but it is well equipped with a lot of standard safety
You
features.
know it's
a Toyota
great.
Corolla, so it's going to do well, and it is a Consumer Reports pick because it is a Corolla.
That's right.
I would probably, I kind of like the way the two-tone looks, and it, you notice, believe it or not, it is more of a difference in the hybrid model. They've rounded the edges and made it a little bit more aerodynamic. It's hard to tell the difference between the two. There's one in the color, but there are definite changes to the shape of the vehicle, which I kind of think helps it a little bit. I don't know, gives it a little bit more character.
Yeah.
So if I was buying one, I'd probably go for the hybrid, depending on what it costs. I have to figure out what it would cost. But I kind of like the idea of 42 miles to the gallon from an all-wheel drive vehicle. But there you have it. A little bit of a review of the Corolla Cross and some talk about the Corolla Cross Hybrid, both from Toyota. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com. Find us on YouTube and more. I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We'll see you down the road.
Bye.